Good girl.
Morning, Saturn. Hey YouTubers, so it's been a week since my last update. This video is going to be predominantly on the garden, so our rainwater harvesting, our expansion plans. You can see what I've grown too close together, what I've grown too far apart, and have a good laugh. Hopefully you might have some tips for me, so if you do have any tips, leave it down in the comments. This is my first year gardening. I really do feel clueless. I've done a lot of Googling and reading of books, but there's nothing like just cracking in and making all the mistakes and learning along the way. So hopefully you enjoy seeing my mistakes. So that one's full. I've moved it back over to here and I've made sure the tap's on down to the bottom. I'm just going to go check, make sure it's coming out the hose, or this will be overflowing soon. It's officially coming off the roof, the rain, quicker than I can transport it into this barrel. I think maybe I should have left this on all night. Morning, so I've been mowing the lawn, so I look a bit red, and now I'm going to attempt to use all that rainwater we got yesterday to water the polytunnel. It's only gravity fed, so it will take quite a while to trickle down, but yeah, using the rainwater to the best of our advantage. Yay, gravity fed rainwater, awesome. So just giving everything a good old water. Everything's growing well, hoping to get some more dirt and start expanding the garden a bit more. Obviously we're getting late in the season, but just trying to plant as much as we can. Bridget's started sunflowers.
Yeah, I've got the lavender hasn't popped up yet, but the basil, comfrey and lupins have.
So she's having a good go at planting. Peas are starting to pop up over there.
We've got loads of lettuce. Can I have Jackie?
We've got turkeys watching through the window helping.
So this is my little one-handed video update. I've added an upright and a horizontal inside the polytunnel, and we've got some batten to go on there, I'm not sure if she's going to want one on the bottom, but I'm going to call it a night now. It's 9 o'clock, and I think we put a horizontal through there and a horizontal through there. That'll be all right to hold those tomatoes up. Let's put this to bed now then.
So the tomatoes are strung up, a bit late, but at least they're up now. Just trimmed off some of the lower branches. Super overcrowded, but yeah, they're all good. First real major harvest of Swiss chard and kale. So that will be tonight's dinner. So that's really nice to be eating out of the garden now. Been getting lettuce for a few days, well, for a week or so, but yeah, this is great to be able to have some other greens.
It's the regular trip to the recycling centre to go and collect their homemade compost from all of the kitchen waste and stuff like that they get.
Yeah, so we've run out of room to plant and we want to plant more before we get to the end of the season, so we're just looking at the days now and trying to work out what else we can put in, and we're just going to continuously expand the garden, I think, and even next year, just to get it to a point where we can be almost as self-sufficient as we can be.
We will have to at some point start doing some fencing and stuff. I know.
Yep.
We keep doing more garden, but at some point we all need to start thinking about pests and animals, not just chicken pests.
Yep.
Chickens aren't pests.
They are. They're pests.
No, they only eat the stuff I don't want to eat. They don't eat carrots though. Vegetables.
So we'll give you a garden tour later and show you what we're up to and what we think our plans are, because they change all the time. So we're just getting ready to start putting a bed in along here. We've got loads of sunflowers to put out and other stuff. So I think what we've decided is we're going to actually go to having very little paths, probably just the width of a lawnmower or width of a cart eventually. But we've only got one lot of dirt today, so we're just going to start with making quite a narrow bed all the way along. And as I say, we're just going to slowly make these beds bigger. We were going to infill this area here, but we've got the pumpkins trailing through here, so there's no point really putting any dirt there this year. We can do it next year. And again, that's another reason for leaving this bit quite open, so that they've got room to trail out. Let's probably start that end or this end. Where do you want to start? Good to finish off that final little bit that didn't have any soil in. That's a bit lower, but I've planted in it, so I think we're going to plant more beans in here. I've got a short window for, but it's so hot I'm not sure about germination. I'll think about it. So Bridget's just starting to plant her sunflowers out, or she's lining them up. So we have a little wall of sunflowers which she's hoping to feed to the chickens throughout the winter. They're ready to be planted, hey Bibs?
Yeah.
So the potatoes are doing really well. We hilled them up as much as we could before we ran out of dirt, and then we used a bit of hay as well, so hey ho, they're flowering, so fingers crossed we will have some potatoes. So as you saw in the clip earlier, we're harvesting kale regularly, which is great, and I'm just taking it from where the pumpkins are to reduce the overcrowding. It's cut and come again, so great thing to grow. And the Swiss chard is doing well, but I've cut that back quite heavily because it was so close to other plants. So I'm just waiting for the next batch to be ready. Lots of yellow zucchinis coming, which is really, really promising. Can't wait for those. So in the new bed we've planted the sunflowers, carrots, beets or beetroot, potatoes, Swiss chard and lettuce. So here we have the next lot of Swiss chard, and the Brussels just starting to grow. Maybe planted them a bit late, not sure. And the leeks are looking to really establish now, so that's great. The brassicas are looking a little bit sorry for themselves. And yeah, looks like cabbage white floating around, not sure. So I don't know, I'm not a lover of brassicas. I think they take up too much space, they're too time consuming. I think I'd rather just grow a load of kale. Cut and come again. I haven't watered today, so it looks like they need a good water. I think we're due a lot of rain tomorrow, hopefully, so fingers crossed. These are the broad beans, and every time I come in here I'm pretty sure they've grown another inch, so that's great. The bush bean providers aren't doing quite as well, but they're coming, so that's good. The strawberries have really struggled. They took a while to come, and a lot of the leaves went brown, so I don't think the watering was quite right. We shall see how they carry on, I suppose. I'm not amazingly happy with the rutabaga, or swede if you're in the UK, and the parsnips. They seem to take ages to come, whether they just take a lot longer to germinate, and because of the heat and trying to grow from seed in the polytunnel, whether that's just really stunted them. They don't seem to be massively thriving, and the ground was very, very hard. I had real trouble trying to keep it moist. so that they could peek their little heads out and get growing. I planted them in the polytunnel because I'd run out of room to grow outside, and I was planting them late, and I figured they would have a longer season within the polytunnel. But also I know they need a frost or a first frost to sweeten them, or at least one's good for them, so I think that's right. If you have any experience, please let me know. The corn's growing massively. I've planted it in like a block because it said that was best for pollination, but I'm not sure if I need to get a feather and do the pollinating as it's in the polytunnel or not. If anyone knows, please let me know. We love beetroot in this family. Bridget loves to bake cakes with beetroot. I like to roast it, and obviously it gives you the option of pickling it as well. So yeah, we've got 3 rows in here, and we've also planted some outside as well. So hopefully we'll have lots and lots of beetroot, and that'll be quite a good productive vegetable to grow. I had trouble germinating the cucumber, so I decided when I replanted in the polytunnel to put 2 everywhere I was planting. Problem is they all came up, and I don't like thinning. Feels cruel to pick one and the other one dies, so they're all in there, and Marcus says they're far too overcrowded, but they grow up, right? So what's the problem? It's official, we have 2 tomatoes growing and we have a load of flowers. Again, same problem, I've planted them all too close together and I didn't realise they grew as tall as they did. I've never known any grow to 12 feet, supposedly. The carrots took ages to sort of really get going, but they've started, so at least there's something there, which I was worried I'd have nothing. We have flowers on our pepper, and I have googled it and it says they're self-pollinating like tomatoes, so fingers crossed they are. And we have peppers. I've never grown these before. Is that the first ones?
Yeah. So they.
Oh, I see.
They grow on the end of the.
It's my first butternut squash.
But then you got flowers here. So beautiful. I don't know if you really need to worry about too much about training them up. I
mean, they've got their little tendrils.
Yeah. I mean, you could.
But they can spill over here because there's nothing.
Look here. So this is the first aubergine there. So the aubergine will come on the end of the.
Aubergine or eggplant?
Aubergine.
Tomato or tomato? Our pumpkins kind of got dumped because they needed to be planted, and we didn't want to take up too much of the room of the dirt because we wanted to plant lots, and obviously pumpkins grow really big. So they then got kind of placed on the edges of beds, and we ended up with 4 in the polytunnel just where the poles were in the middle, and we were going to move them, which we haven't done. But I figure they can just kind of creep across the floor really in there, because we haven't expanded the middle part for full length of what we're intending to do yet. So really I'm hoping they'll just grow outwards rather than crowd all the stuff that's in the bed. But because we've got some inside and we've got some outside, it'd be interesting to see which ones do better. It's rather warm in here. I think I need to get out of the sauna, steam room. So thanks for joining us this week, and we'll catch up with you next week. Bye for now.